I knew something was wrong the moment the knock echoed through the house. The rhythmic thud against the door sounded too sharp, too deliberate. The air in the room thickened, my chest constricted as I turned to my wife. "You didn't." Her eyes were cold, distant. The smirk tugging at the corners of her lips sent a chill through my spine. "Just answer the door. It's not a big deal." It was more than just a knock. It was the sound of my life unraveling, a hammer poised to strike the nail into the coffin of my existence. She had done it. She had destroyed everything we'd built. A week ago, I would have called her my soulmate. A month ago, I would have said she was the love of my life. Now, I was about to be framed for a crime I didn't commit. And the woman who had once whispered sweet promises in my ear was the architect of my undoing. "Open up, sir." A voice outside was sharp, demanding. I dragged myself from the couch, each step heavy as though the weight of betrayal had settled on my shoulders. I swung the door open to reveal two uniformed officers. "Are you Marcus Caldwell?" one officer asked, his gaze scanning me as if I were already guilty. "Yes," I said, my voice steady despite the storm brewing in my mind. "You're under arrest for assault and battery. We've got a statement from your wife. She says you attacked her last night." I looked past the officers, my eyes locking with Julia's. She was standing in the living room, her face pale, a glint of triumph flashing in her eyes. Her plan was working. She had painted me as the villain, and in her mind, there was no way I could fight back. But she was wrong. I swallowed the rising fury, the need to shout, to fight back. Instead, I nodded slowly, glancing toward the officers. "Can I speak with her alone for a moment?" The officers exchanged a brief look, then nodded. "We'll give you 2 minutes," the other officer said, watching us closely. As soon as they left, I turned to Julia. "You really think this is going to work?" Her smirk only deepened. "It already is. They believe me. You're going to lose everything, Marcus. Everything you've worked for. I'll take it all." I could feel my hands tightening into fists. The anger, the betrayal, she had crossed a line, but I couldn't let her know how much she'd hurt me. "Not yet." "You're wrong," I said, my voice cold and controlled. "This isn't how this ends." Her laughter rang through the room, sharp and cruel. "How else could it end? You'll be locked up, and I'll have everything." I didn't flinch. I didn't let the panic in her eyes when she realized I was still calm. No, I wasn't going to react out of emotion. I had a plan. A cold, methodical plan that would tear her lies apart. The officers returned, their faces unreadable. They had no idea. But I did. I had been gathering evidence, slowly, meticulously, over the past few months. Julia had become reckless, thinking she could keep the affair secret, but I had been paying attention. The officers stepped forward to cuff me. Just as one of them reached for my arm, I spoke, my words cutting through the tension like a knife. "I think you should check her phone records." The officer paused, brow furrowing. "What?" "Her phone records," I repeated, my tone unwavering. "She's been texting someone. She's been planning this with someone else. It's all in the messages." For the first time, I saw doubt flicker in his eyes. I had them now. Julia's face went a shade paler, and her smirk faltered. "You're wasting time," she said, her voice sharp, but I saw the tremor in her hands. The officers ignored her. One of them pulled out his phone and dialed something, then turned to her. "We'll need to take a look at your phone records, ma'am. It's part of the process." Her eyes widened in panic, but she didn't say anything. The officer's voice was calm, but there was an undeniable authority in it. "We'll be contacting your provider now." The seconds dragged on like hours. I could feel the sweat forming on my palms, but my heart was steady, like a predator waiting for its prey. And then, the officer's phone buzzed. I watched as he looked down at the screen, his face changing as he read the messages. His eyes flicked to Julia, then back to me. The silence in the room was suffocating. "Ma'am," the officer said, his voice heavy with finality. "You're under arrest for conspiracy to file false charges and obstruction of justice." Julia's face drained of color. The smugness she had carried so effortlessly vanished, leaving only fear and disbelief in its place. The life she had so carefully crafted, the lies, the manipulation, the betrayal had just crumbled beneath her feet. She opened her mouth to protest, but the words died in her throat. The officers stepped forward, and with one swift movement, they cuffed her. I didn't feel satisfaction. I didn't feel the rush of triumph. What I felt was cold, a sense of justice being served, no more, no less. As she was led away, her face twisted in rage, she turned to me, her voice trembling with anger. "You think this is over? You think you've won?" I stared at her, my expression unchanged. "It's over, Julia. You just don't know it yet." The door clicked shut behind her, and I stood there for a long moment, breathing in the emptiness of the house. My life wasn't ruined. Hers was. And that was all the justice I needed.